is with the artificial intelligence issue, when I'm calling AI mania, is not that AI is bad. It's that human beings tend towards certain behaviors that AI can augment and sort of ruin in some ways as a tool. It can benefit us greatly, and I'm a big. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
But I do worry about us. I don't think the problem is the silicon of AI. I think the problem is the soul of the humans using it. So to me, the schizophrenia is you're a god or you're a machine, and then we invent this seemingly godlike machine that says you can be a machine and still be God. It can know everything, and it can do all these things. And of course, the transhumanists like Kurzweil and Rothblatt and Elise Bohan and all these folks are talking about one day we'll achieve the singularity. We'll have, artificial intelligence that will achieve and then surpass human level of intelligence. And then we'll merge with it in some, I'm not sure how they propose that our immaterial consciousness merge with material hardware.
Brain chip.
Yeah, but even then, if it's a brain chip, they're talking about immortality.
Yeah.
Rothblatt, for example, Martin Rothblatt talks about achieving an immortality through download. And Kurzweil talks about this. In fact, here's how I know the AI mania that is transhumanism is trying to solve the contradiction.
Yes.
Ray Kurzweil was asked in a documentary called Transcendent Man. He was asked the question, is there a God? He says, if you ask me if there's a God, I would say, not yet.
Oh, gosh.
That's quite a statement.
Yeah, man. To tie a lot of these things together, something that I've concluded in my hundreds, if not thousands of conversations and just connecting with so many people online and offline is, I think something that's going on a lot in the modern world is this constant search for solutions to problems that aren't actually problems. Because sometimes I just see people running in some direction and trying to do this and trying to do that and this and this. And I often come back to just like, what's the problem you're trying to solve? Like, what's the actual problem? And this doesn't even have to get into tech things. This can be about like some of the DEI stuff, for example, when it's like, oh, we need to get, we need this in this C-suite exec in this company, we have, 75% of the people on the board are men, and we need to do this, and this is, I'm like, what's the problem you're trying to solve? What's the okay, it's 75. The problem is it's 75% men. And?
Yeah.
So what's the problem? What's the problem? Like, is it a company? What is the problem? Are those the best people? Is it that those people suck? Is the problem that, your profits are tanking? Like, no, but it has to be 50. Why? Like, imagine in sport. I know you used to play basketball. You've played also. Imagine if like you expect every sports team to perfectly represent the ratios of gender and race and ethnicity and social class of the society. Nobody would expect that.
Right.
That would be insane. Like the NBA, NFL, I think are like over 70% black. And
you'd be upset about it.
Black men make up 6% of the U.S. population.
Right.
And if someone was like, oh, we need to get, the NBA should be like only 6% black and I don't know, 55% white and like 12, people would be like, what do you even?
Yeah.
Even the most like liberal progressive person would be like, what? Like that's all of a sudden they're super meritocratic, right?
Right.
And it happens in just all of these different things. You're running in this direction, some of these things with AI, and we're making this and we're making this, and we want to have AI companions and we want to make this. I'm like, what's the problem you are trying to solve? Because as far as I'm concerned with technology, and I love technology does great things.
Yeah.
Right. I can see why I know why this mic exists.
Mm-hmm.
I know why this was invented. I know why cameras were invented. I know why all of these are very useful tools, but people are pushing for certain things, and it's like, what's the issue you're trying to fix? Like, because as far as I'm concerned with some of these applications, all you're doing is creating new problems. Sure, sometimes a solution's always going to come with trade-offs.
Yeah.
Right. So I know why the smartphone was invented. I know why social media was invented, and there's upsides and there's downsides, and we can have conversations about what they are. But they do solve problems. Yeah. For sure. But then with some of these other things, I'm just like, this thing's not a problem to begin with. You're going to create a huge problem here, but you're not solving anything, right? Yeah. Artificial wombs.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to make artificial. Why? Are women suddenly no longer able to conceive and carry and give birth to children? If so, I can say, okay, we need some artificial womb intervention to keep the human species going.
Right.
But no, you just want to do this because you can't. Oh, we want to make human pig hybrid. For why?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you trying to? You see what I mean? It's I can see many ways that this goes horribly, horribly wrong.
Yeah.
But even if it goes right, what problem did you solve? Like, what are we doing here?
And we can articulate like various, like, okay, let's say the artificial womb thing. Someone wants to say, again, to play sort of not devil's advocate, but to make sure we steel man the argument we're responding to. Someone could say, well, women shouldn't be beholden to pregnancy so that they can pursue careers and all that stuff. So we're solving the problem of women having to take maternity leave and all this stuff. It's like, well, that's biology. I mean, that's the way this works, but we can solve that other ways, that kind of thing.
Also, for what percentage of the population are you solving?
And that's
the 7% of women who
don't want that?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
You see what I mean?
It's absolutely. Yeah,
it's such a minority.
I mean, that reminded me of that one comedian who talked about the hand dryer and the automatic sink in a public bathroom. It's like you put your hand in the water. It's like, was this really a problem? Are we unable to actually turn these things? And then the hand dryer comes out or the towel comes down because you can't pull. It's like, what is this? This is a solution to a problem no one has. No. And there are plenty of things like that. I'll tell you what's interesting is that, again, sort of like to talk about some details that come out after you start writing a book. So when I was writing the book, I was thinking about one of the problems that would result from AI mania is that we would over-rely on artificial intelligence. And so in our effort to achieve God status, we would actually start to cede our humanity to the algorithms. Tomas from Music talks about this in I, Human. I talk about this in the book. And then, the book goes to the publisher. It's not published yet, but it went to the publisher. And then I see this study from MIT. You probably saw this, but the study shows there's two studies. One was just MIT at the Media Lab. Another one was Media Lab and OpenAI. And the study shows that human beings who use ChatGPT on a regular basis start to lose memory, start to lose creativity, and they have a hard time getting it back. They start to have loneliness dependencies, especially when they use the voice feature. They start to have this loneliness epidemic. People who use Replica and Peridot, these apps that become their AI chatbots, they have tremendous loneliness problems.
Something realized something is that, as a lawyer, when I was doing commercial litigation, I did a lot of business stuff. And one of the things that I noticed when I was litigating cases that involved mergers and acquisitions, is that there's no such thing as a merger of equals. It just doesn't happen. Whenever two seemingly equal companies merge, one of them becomes dominant, and the dominant culture is the one that company becomes. It's almost an invariable law of business. And transhumanism is all about this idea that we can merge with technology and go from being machines to becoming godlike if we achieve this merger. Well, if this data from the MIT study that shows that when we over-rely on an LLM, for heaven's sake, not even like it's been implanted in our brains, but we rely on LLMs to write our essays for us and to do all the creative thinking for us and to create images of all this about us doing it, we lose cognitive ability, cognitive function. We go into what they call cognitive debt. All this happens. This is happening now. We're losing our sense of humanity. Can you imagine if we merge with technology and it does everything for us? We're going to see our humanity this thing 100% because human beings are path of least resistance creatures. That's why the number of people who are visibly fit is a lot lower than the people who are not, because we don't like resistance training, because we are inherently path of least resistance. Back to Adam and Eve. This is the quick way to learn about good and evil. God probably would have taught you this under the guidance in the Garden of Eden, but for the quick fix, and that is, again, biblical wisdom, we go for it. And this study is just showing us that we've known this all along, of course. So again, technology is great. We just can't rely on it to be our savior. We have no silicon savior. We really don't.
And again, studies for things that are obvious to anyone getting censure.
Yeah.
Because how well do we remember phone numbers now?
Yeah.
How well do we remember driving directions?
Abdu, man, it's been wonderful talking to you about all of these different subjects. You're a man I could talk to. I know we could go on for hours and hours and go in depth on all of these different things.
Before we close out today, where can people find and follow you online? And importantly, where will they be able to get your book?
So they can find out more about us at embracethetruth.org. We have a litany of information and resources, whether it's written or our videos and that kind of thing. We have a podcast called All Rise on YouTube as well. So look up All Rise with Abdu Murray. And of course, I have the social media handles, the various things. You haven't got this up. Is it just at Abdu Murray? It is until you get the Instagram. Because if you do at Abdu Murray, you'll get my cousin. You have to get at Abdu Murray 12, and then you'll get me on Instagram. But yeah, and then the book is set to be released in February of 2026, but it is available for pre-order demo, actually, on Amazon and other places. And as you want to call it, Fake ID, how identity, ideology, and AI are collapsing reality and what to